Welcome back po dito sa part 2 na ating programa Power to Unite with Elvira, kung saan po, kung nakinig po kayo sa aming part 1 interview with our guest na walang iba kundi si Father Timithy Radcliffe. Siya po ang director ng Las Casas of Blackfriars Oxford at talagang marami po tayong matutuhan dito. So kung anong pag-usapan namin dito sa part 2, siya po ang tabayan nyo sa pagbabalik ng Power to Unite with Elvira.
Because it's when it's darkest that God comes to us anew, surprisingly, in ways that we could never have anticipated. So don't be afraid of crisis. Every one of us, will live through crisis. Maybe individually, maybe communally, in our parishes, in the church, we all live through crisis. But God often comes to us in moments of crisis when there doesn't appear to be a future.
Father Timothy, thank you so much, for agreeing to do another part, because as you said, listening is very important and learning at the same time. And I'm learning a lot from you. The most important, you said, is really freedom should be there also, because there is no joy without freedom, which is now the problem which is happening around the world now. There might be freedom, but sometimes joy cannot be seen in their face because of so many problems that is coming to every family, to every government. Sometimes I saw a lot of desperation. Even the government, no matter how powerful they are, they cannot even answer the problems that is coming in, So we saw a lot of calamities beyond their control, the economic problem, all these things, and then the war, especially the threat of terrorism, the threat of this Islamic fundamentalism, which is already coming out, bombing here and there. It seems that how can we enjoy freedom when there is so much threat? Everywhere you go, you don't even know if you will come out alive, because without your knowing it, you are just there, suddenly a bomb went off, So there is no more security. You cannot say we are safe in Asia or they are safe in America or in Africa. Nobody can say that, because all this thing now is very eminent in the 5 continents of the world, right, Father Radcliffe?
We see a rise, Elvira, of terrorism. Mm-hmm. And terrorism works by making you feel afraid. So if you want to combat terrorism, the first thing is not to be controlled by fear.
Fear, okay.
They say courage is not being unafraid. Courage is not being the slave of your fears.
Okay.
So faced with the rise of terrorism, I think we Christians, we have something very special to give, which is our refusal to be the prisoner of fear.
Okay.
So when there are dangerous parts of the world, and many parts of the world today are very dangerous,
yes,
we must witness to our faith by being free to go there and to show people that they are not forgotten, and to show people that even when we feel afraid, we are still free to love.
In spite of the suffering that you have seen in those Christian community, no matter how small they are, many of them either ran away or they died or being persecuted, but you see that they cling to their faith. That's why faith is very, very important. So how do you feel when you go there?
Well, for example, when I went to Baghdad,
Yes.
everybody said, you will not last a week.
Oh.
You are bound to be killed.
Okay.
But that is because they saw Baghdad through the eyes of fear. When I went to Baghdad, I was struck by meeting many Christians who carry on trying to do good every day.
Okay.
I found little Christian communities looking after abandoned children,
Okay.
looking after children with disabilities, and looking after older people of all faiths,
Okay.
Christian and Muslim, Yazidi, and they stay there and they do what is good to do, what is loving,
Okay.
even when they don't see the future. You know, when I went to Baghdad and a few weeks ago to Syria,
Yeah.
I thought I wanted to give hope to these people.
Yes.
It's the other way around, Elvira. They teach me how to hope.
Yeah. In what way you feel that they are the one teaching you there should be hope?
They teach me not only there should be hope, but they teach me there is hope.
Okay.
Because you go with them and you see how they live with courage every day. And you live, when you celebrate the Eucharist
Yes.
in situations of great suffering, then you see the sacrament of hope. You see, the Eucharist remembers the time that Jesus was about to face his death.
Yeah.
And one of the disciples, Judas, betrayed
Treat
him.
him.
Another disciple, Peter, ran away.
Denied him.
Everything was falling to bits.
Yes.
The community was being destroyed. And in this terrible moment, Jesus made a sign of hope. He said, "This is my body and I give it to you." Every Sunday when we go to Mass, we remember the worst moment in the history of the church, when everything seemed finished. And in that worst moment, Jesus makes a great sign of hope. So when you go to Baghdad or Syria or Rwanda, I was in Rwanda during the genocide.
Yeah, the Hutus and the Tutsi at that day.
Tutsis,
Yes.
or Angola in the Civil War.
Yeah.
When you go to these really bad situations, you celebrate the Eucharist, and you know, however bad it is, we are not deserted,
Okay.
and Christ will do something new, and we will find each other in a new way. And I think this is the great gift that Christianity gives. However dark the situation, always Christ is there, and he will make something new. So when I go to places like Baghdad, and you see the joy of people and the generosity of people, then you say, I got no excuse ever to despair.
Still good people are around. They are the sign of hope because they come to the church, you know, they put hope in the Eucharist because, as you said, the greatest gift that Jesus gave us is really in the Eucharist when we celebrate Mass. That's why the Eucharistic celebration should be a joyful celebration.
And also, of course, politicians often promote fear, and the media, the newspapers, always give you the impression that everything is collapsing and that the end of the world is nigh. But we should not be fooled. And if we go to where people are suffering, they will help us to hope.
Yeah, I think, and by traveling also, you learn and see the situation, you know. I talked to Jesus, I said, Jesus, you want me to come here, so you have to protect me. That's my condition. I will follow your will, but you have to protect me. That's what he said.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
Elvira, you might not be protected.
Well, I don't think,
You might get killed. And I think for us the important thing is not that God will mysteriously protect us from the bullets and things,
Yes.
but that even if we die, we're still in the hands of God.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's
the
still
end of the
towards
day.
Him. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important, that we have to put into our minds that we come from Him, we end up with Him at the same time, you know. And I think, you know, when we talk about our faith, is really to trust God and to pray a lot, you know. Prayers is a powerful tool. You know.
Well, we believe that we are heard. That God eventually, always our prayers are answered. Not in the way we expect always, but sometimes in a more deep way, in an unexpected way. But in the end, we trust that our prayers are heard.